What's up, everyone? It's the Prism Meddler here. And guess what? It's here. My ranking for Black Sabbath, the pioneers of heavy metal. I'm fish. Yes. I told you it's going to happen. Finally, here it is. There's really nothing much to say about the intro. I have nothing worse to say, so I'm just not going to say much for the intro, so I'm just going to go ahead and start up with the ranking. They are easily the pioneers of heavy metal. However, some people may say Deep Purple is, or some may say Led Zeppelin are pioneers. But I kind of agree that Black Sabbath is the one that started this whole heavy metal genre. But yeah, without further ado, let's get started with the ranking. Of course. Not surprising. Forbidden. Easily their worst album. So boring. Boring album. I mean, it's not one of the worst albums I ever heard, but I'm just so bored listening to this album. There's really nothing interesting, to be honest. I mean, that awful song that features Ice-T, and I heard one of the members from Body Count is a producer. I don't know what his name. Plus, I barely listen to Body Count. I don't know all of their stuff, but yeah, just not very good. I mean, well, it's not like painfully bad. It's just, I just don't like this album, and it's just not, I'm just not going to come back to this album. So yeah, I have nothing else to say about this album. Just really boring. Just filler. 18 is Cross Purposes. Same reason as Forbidden, but I think this album is slightly better because it has better production. But I'm still not coming back to this album. I didn't care for any songs from this album. I just don't go back to it. I'm just not a fan of this album. I do like the Tony Martin as a vocalist, which I will explain later, but I feel like everything is just recycled from the previous albums ever since Tony Martin started in Black Sabbath. Since then, besides the Dehumanizer, which has Dio in it, but yeah, I don't go back to this album either. So this has to be as my second least favorite. All right, next up at number 17, we got Born Again. This is probably Black Sabbath's most evil album. Yeah, this is their only album with Ian Gillan from Deep Purple. Sorry if I said his last name wrong. I'm not too familiar with Deep Purple, to be honest. But I do like his vocals in this album. I really want to like this album. I just don't like this production. It's kind of have like a black metal type production. And I just keep hearing more bass than guitars. But I kind of do see what they're trying to do there. If they make it like better production, then I feel like this would be a much better album. They kind of make this album like darker than their usual. A lot of people dislike the album. I thought this is an amazing looking album cover, even though it's better than that Dance of Death album. But yeah, I do think this is a really not really great, but good. I'll just say good. How about that? But shitty production, good album. That's all I have to say. Alright. Number 16. Yes, 16. We have Never Say Die. Now, it's a great album, but I think this is the weakest out of the Aussie Sabbath albums. Excuse me. But yeah, as you all may know, this is the final album with Aussie until their final album 13, which came out 34 years later. No, I'm sorry, 35 years later. Yeah, my bad. But I see this album have bad reviews. I can understand why, but I don't think this album is bad as many people say it was. There's actually some pretty great songs like Never Say Die, Johnny Blade, Hard Road, and Shockwave. That's just pretty much it. The rest I just don't really care for. Yeah. But like I said, it's pretty decent. It's actually a decent album, good album, I should say. But it's far from their best. Okay. 15, we got Headless Cross. Actually a pretty great album. Mainly because I like Tony Martin's vocals. Speaking of Tony Martin, whenever he entered Black Sabbath around the late 80s to 90s era, which is one of the most unpopular albums, I thought that era is going to be like if Blaze Bayley, I thought it's going to be like Blaze Bayley in Iron Maiden, but no, it's a lot different. I'm not saying Blaze Bayley is bad. I actually love X Factor. Virtual 11, it's okay, but we're not talking about Iron Maiden right now. But yeah, Tony Martin, he's actually a really underrated singer for sure. But I actually like this album, but I had to rate this very, 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 very low because I just feel like their other materials are better. The instrumentation for this album, generic, but mostly generic, but but I do like Tony Martin's vocals throughout this album. That's all I have to say for this one. You know what? I really don't like putting this album very, very low, but I have to. I have nowhere else to put it. I'm going to explain why I had to rate this album very low. And yes, I understand why. Yes, I understand that you want to smash those fucking keyboards down. Because this album was like, but here's the reason why I had to put Volume 4 at number 14 instead of the top 5. It starts off with a really, really great song, one of the best Black Sabbath songs of all time, Wheels of Confusion. Tomorrow's Dream changes, and then here comes that interlude that kind of blew up my ear. And then Supernaut, I didn't care for Supernaut. It kind of, after that ear rape interlude, it started to go downhill, and then it became really dull up until the final track, Under the Sun, which is a really great song. Sorry if this review isn't good, but I had to put this, I really have to put this out low. Sorry if this is at my top 15 instead of top 5. Okay, 13, we got The Eternal Idol. A really, really solid album. Some people thought Headless Cross was better than Eternal Idol, but not really for me. I thought Eternal Idol is slightly better, mainly because it's their first album with Tony Martin on vocals. And also, yeah, that's pretty much why I prefer this album above Headless Cross. And there's actually some pretty great songs too, like The Shining, Ancient Warrior, Our Life to Live, Nightmare, and their final track, Eternal Idol. This is actually a pretty underrated album, but then again, this has to go at the 13th spot, mainly because there are much other albums are better. Number 12. It is Technical Ecstasy. Oh, this album cover. You wanna know what this album cover is? Robots having sex. Not fucking with you. They got away with it with the controversy art, even though it's not as disgusting as the album with Piss, Jizz, and Blood. But, yeah. But, besides that, let's talk about the song. Backstreet Kids, great song. You won't change. I mean, there's a lot of great songs. I mean, unlike their previous album, it's got some mixed reviews, but I do think it's a really great album, but it's not one of the best, especially in the Aussie era. Backstreet Kids, You Won't Change Me, Gypsy. Oh, Dirty Women. I actually love that song. One of my favorite Black Sabbath songs of all time. But yeah. Really nothing much to say here about this album. But yeah. I'm trying not to make this video too long, just so y'all know. That's why I'm making it shorter. So yeah, this comes in at number 12. Alright, next we got another underrated album, and that is Tyre, or it's actually spelled as an alphabet letter. It's called Tyr. This is actually another underrated album by Black Sabbath. It's mainly about the Norse mythology. It's not a concept album, but I mean, but according to Wikipedia, well, bassist Neil Murray said that very little of the album has to do with mythology, and it wasn't intended to be a concept album. So I never really considered this a concept album, but this is actually a really underrated album. Definitely, probably think it's their darkest record. Even though I don't consider this to be a return to roots, but I mean, it's pretty much, I don't know how to say this, but it's pretty underrated if you listen to this. This is kind of like the X Factor version of Black Sabbath. That's how I would describe this album. Favorite songs: Anno Monday. Let me look at the rest of it. Yeah, Anno Monday, Lawmaker, Sabbath Stones, Odin's Court, Valhalla. That's probably the best song in this album, and it feels good to me. Those are the songs that I like in this album the most. But yeah, definitely a great album, and this comes in at number 11. We have got another underrated album at number 10. It's one of the most underrated albums I've ever listened to. And number 10 is going to be Seventh Star. I really like this album a lot. Originally, this is supposed to be Tony Iommi's solo album, but due to his record label pressuring him, he had to he just put it in. He was pressured from his own record label, and he was forced to use it as a Black Sabbath album. Even though it says Black Sabbath featuring Tony Iommi, but yeah, mainly because their bassist Geezer Butler left. Geezer Butler and Bill Ward left the band right after Born Again. But yeah, this is actually a really great album. I do think this is a really great album. Favorite songs: "In for the Kill," "No Stranger to Love," "Friend of Stone," "Seventh Star," "Heart Like a Wheel," "Angel Heart," and "In Memory." I thought this was an amazing album. Very, very underrated. If you haven't listened to this album, you definitely need to check this album out. This is their only album with Glenn Hughes. I don't really know who that guy is. He was in he's in one of the lineups for Deep Purple. I don't know if he's an entire band member. Like I said before, I'm not too familiar with Deep Purple. Oh, okay. He's only in this. Okay, he's only in the band for a few years. Okay, but I barely know anything about this guy, to be honest. But he sang amazing in this album. I may have to check him out, but yeah, I do like this album a lot. So if you haven't listened to this album, you may want to check this album out. I'm pretty blown away by this album, to be honest. Okay, number 9. We have the Dio album, and that is Dehumanizer. I really like this. This is probably the best album that was released in the 90s era for Black Sabbath. Yes, Dio returned to the band. Um, yes, he returned to the band. So is Geezer Butler. However, I think Tony Martin left the band after the Tire record, and they brought back Dio, and pretty much recorded Return to Roots from their Heaven and Hell. I do think this is actually this is a really great album, and it has much heavier riffs, but is it their best? No. I do enjoy this. I really do enjoy this album. Y'all heard the song "Time Machine" may be familiar, y'all, if y'all seen Wayne's World, but there are some underrated songs. TV Crimes, Computer God, After All the Dead, Time Machine to the Father, Buried Alive. I just like pretty much every song from this album. I really enjoy. This is probably Sabbath's most underrated album. You definitely watch it. Dude, this album cover is fucking badass, dude. I'm not gonna lie. This is probably one of the most badass album covers I've ever seen. But sadly, this is the final album with Ronnie James Dio. No, that does not count his return to the band as the band called Heaven and Hell, which features the Heaven and Hell lineup. I am not counting that. The Devil You Know album, because that's not a Sabbath record. Yes, it has the Heaven and Hell lineup, but it's not titled as Black Sabbath. And no, it's not going to be on this list, just so you know, because I said 19. Sabbath only has 19 albums. Sure, I'll listen to it, but there's not going to be an album ranking for that because it only has one album, so there's really no point in doing that. So, yeah, sorry about that. But I haven't listened to that album yet, but pretty curious to check this album out. But other than that, I do really enjoy this album. Production may not be the best on there, but this is probably the best 90s Black Sabbath album, in my opinion. Okay, number 8, we have their final album, 13. This album brought back Ozzy Osbourne. The first time with Ozzy Osbourne in 35 years. He was fired from, after Never Say Die, he got fired due to his reckless behavior. But he changed his ways, and but he's changed his ways now, and yeah, surprise, surprise. And this is I think their first album in 18 years since Forbidden, and this is actually a definition of a final album for me. Yes, it may not be the best Sabbath record. I once saw a Black Sabbath album, and one put this as their weakest album because he said it's too long and this voice is full of auto-tune. Like, what? The fuck? Auto-tune? No, I don't hear any auto-tune in this album. I do think I don't know what the fuck kind of ears you got. Even though I respect your opinion, but no, not auto-tune. But anyway, I like all songs. End of the Beginning. To be honest, I never thought there was going to be a Black Sabbath album in the 2010s. I thought Forbidden would just remain as their final album, and then yes, they probably broken up around late 2000s, and then they came back in 2011 for a tour, and then they're making an album. At first I thought I kind of doubted it, and then Actually, the first time I heard from this song is End of the Beginning. I think it's probably from the movie This Is the End. The one with Seth Rogen in it. And I think it's played at the credits, but I check out it has Ozzy voice, and I see that new Ozzy Osbourne. I don't see it, and then new Black Sabbath song. I was like, wait, what? And then I found out they were releasing an album. Like, holy shit! I got really hyped up for this album, dude. And it did not disappoint at all. It was much better. They definitely improved a lot through this album. So yeah. The reason I did not put this in my top 5 is because it does not beat the classic records. It cannot beat. It can't. It just can't, dude. It doesn't work, but there's no way it can top the classics. But the classic 70s era. But yeah, 13 has to come in at number 8. Alright, number 7, we have the debut self-titled album. I know many of y'all put this as, oh, I am so low. It's at number 7. It should be like number 3, 2, or 1. Now, first, let me tell you something. I love this album. Masterpiece album. But I had to put this at 7 because I just think their 6 albums are better. But, yeah, this is the album that brought heavy metal. As you may know, I fucking adore this album. Definitely one of the most important. This is definitely important to the metal community for this album. Yes, I know that, but this has to be my 7th favorite. But yeah, I love all songs. Don't get me wrong. I love their title track called Black Sabbath, Wizard, Beyond the Wall, NIB, every single song, dude. It's just perfect. It has the best guitar sound from Tony Iommi. The fucking solos, holy shit. The fucking bass too. You can hear everything in this album. It's just, everything is just perfect, just very bluesy to me. Kind of trippy too, but at the same, but yeah. I don't know what's this. Yeah, this is definitely an important album. That's for sure. So, but it has to be at the 7th place for me. But still an amazing album. But I don't know where else to put it. Okay, 6. We have Paranoid. Yes, it may be a bit controversial because it's at number 6. Now, let me tell you something. I fucking love this album, but I have nowhere else to put it. I adore this album, okay? So, this doesn't mean, oh, it's overrated. No, I would not say this album is overrated. I don't think it is. There's a reason why it's their most popular album, and there's a good reason for it too. Like, okay, let's say, yes, I still think that Metallica's Black Album, that's probably the most, I consider this to be the most overrated album of all time because it's a massive sellout. No, I don't think Black Album is a bad album. But mainly why? Because it's just radio friendly sounding, and there's just pretty much it. But this album got big for a reason. Okay, it got their heaviest down tuning sound. Definitely classics like Paranoid, War Pigs, Iron Man, and a very trippy ass song called Planet Planet Caravan. That shit is fucking trippy, dude. Planet Caravan, Hand of Doom, Fairies Wear Blues, Fairies Wear Boots. Yeah, Electric Funeral, another perfect song. It's just pretty much perfect, to be honest. Yeah, this is definitely, I can see why this is your number one favorite. But like I said before, I would not consider this album to be overrated. Sure, it's their most mainstream album, but it's mainstream for a really good reason. Number 5, we have Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath. Another masterpiece album from the golden era. What can I say about this album? Every song I love. And this is my 5th favorite Sabbath album. I don't know what the fuck can I say about this. Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath, The Natural Acrobat. I mean, every single song, dude. Come on, dude. Dude, every song, well, okay, not every song. There's a lot of bands that cover a lot of their songs. Many extreme metal fans put this as their number 1. But, hey, a lot of people put different, and it's usually their Aussie album. I'm not going to tell you my favorite one yet. If I give you hints, and this may ruin the entire thing, but I was going to give you a hint on that, but I decided not to because it just pretty much destroyed. It kind of spoils a bit more. But yeah, I can see why y'all put this. It's very high. As for myself, I just love it. I just love this album. I like this album much more than Volume 4. Now, I know of my controversial pick on Volume 4. I still don't think this album is as good as many people say it was. I think it's one of the weakest with the Aussie eras. Let me tell you something. I don't think Volume 4 is a bad album. It's a solid album, but we're not talking about. I just did my part on Volume 4. But much improved album, Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath. Love it. That's all I have to say for this one. Okay, number 4, we got Mob Rules. A really, really, really great album. A lot of mixed reviews for this album, but I don't understand why it had mixed reviews. But yeah, this is a follow-up to Heaven and Hell. I just love this. This is probably my favorite album in 1981. I think I really like this album, guys. Funny thing is, this came out the same year as Dio's album. I think it came out the same. Oh, I'm sorry. I was wrong. No, Holy Diver. No, I thought it came out the same year. I thought it came out in 81. My bad. But yeah, you get what I mean about Holy Diver by Dio, another classic ass album. But what else is to say about this album? This is a masterpiece album. If you haven't listened to this album, you need to check this album out right away. But yeah, it's heavy. Dio's seating is amazing as always. Yeah, if you love Heaven and Hell, you will love this album for sure. Okay, top 3. We have, I'll give you Master of Reality. Well, you think I'm going to put this at number 1? But hey, I love this album, okay? masterpiece album, another Black Sabbath masterpiece. I can understand why you put this at number 1. Okay, speaking of their next album, Volume 4, I kind of consider this to be like a recycle of Master of Reality. I know I think I said that before. I know it's a stupid reason, but yeah, I'm just gonna say it because I just don't give a fuck. I don't care about the consequences, what I say about this album, okay? I just don't. This is just my personal opinion. If you put the Volume 4 in one of your top 5s, I respect your opinion, okay? I respect this album, don't get me wrong. But enough of that. Master Reality, every song, perfect. Sweet Leaf, After Forever, that interlude's a bit too short, but it's whatever. I consider this to be like a intro to Children of the Brave, which is another fantastic song. Everything's perfect. Even the ballad Solitude, a perfect ballad. Just perfect. Into the Void, just a masterpiece. Every album. I kind of consider this to be the heaviest Black Sabbath album. Many people say it's got like sludge, trippy, heaviest album, doom metal type shit. This is beyond perfection. Perfection, I would say. I just love it. Masterpiece album. Definitely belongs in my top 3. That's all I have to say. Okay, number 2, we have Sabotage. Not a very popular Sabbath album, which I don't get why. I thought after Sabbath Bloody Sabbath, it kind of went downhill, but I was dead wrong with this album. Underrated. Well, I guess it could be most popular, but it doesn't get that as much attention as from their previous albums, I would say. But as it deserves, which it does deserve, every song, I mean, seriously, I love every song on this album, dude. I mean, here, Hole in the Sky, Symptom of the Universe, Megalomania, a very perfect song. The Writ, Am I Going Insane Radio, Thrill of All, the instrumental interlude or whatever, perfect. Perfection. I just love this fucking album. What else is to say? Yes, this has to be at number 2. Yes, I know the album cover sucked, but I guess that could be the reason why. But don't let cover arts fool you, okay? Stop making that shit fool you. I'm not ranking album covers. I'm ranking the content of this album. You thought Iron Maiden's Dance of Death is going to be their worst album because of their cover art? No, it's not like that. I just love this album. Perfect album. This comes in at number 2. Number 1. You want to know what it is? Okay, it's Heaven and Hell. You thought I was going to put one of the Ozzy Osbourne albums at number 1. Now, this is a Dio album. Yes. Remember why I said I'm not going to give you a hint what my favorite album is from Sabbath? Because originally I was going to say, okay, here's what my favorite Black Sabbath album is not it's not from Ozzy Osbourne. If I say that, then it pretty much spoils it. So yeah, this is why I have to say my all-time favorite is Heaven and Hell. You want to know why? I kind of like the theatrics. I love the theatrics on this album. This is perfect. Perfect album. I mean, it may not sound like the previous Black Sabbath albums. Dude, this Black Sabbath album is a whole new level. I mean, dude, Dio can fucking sing. Instrumentation is fucking perfect. Every song is nothing but a fucking 10 out of fucking 10. Sorry if I cuss too much, I don't give a fuck. I think this is what brings the new wave of British heavy metal. This is definitely my pick as number one for this album. I just love everything for this album. I love the theatrical themes for this album. Oh, this is some good shit. Man, whenever I first listened to Heaven and Hell, it sounds like a complete different singer. I thought that was fucking Ozzy Osbourne singing it. So I found it like, is this fucking Black Sabbath? This sounds nothing like Black Sabbath to me. Okay, if it sounds like the 70s Black Sabbath album and it has James Dio, it may not sound good, but no, is it doomy? Hell no. It's just fucking perfect. I just love it. It's just, this is why it has a different sound. I just love the theatrics. This has to be my number one. This is the perfect album for me. So yeah, Heaven and Hell is at number one in my personal opinion. So yeah, this is my ranking for Black Sabbath albums, and please tell me what's yours. I might either do Ozzy Osbourne's solo album next or the Lamb of God album ranking. I know I've done that album ranking for Lamb of God before, but I took it down because my opinion might change a whole lot than before. And plus, not only that, their new album came out about a month ago. So yeah, I'm definitely going to be doing these two albums. I don't know what I'm going to do next after that, to be honest. We're still deciding. But yeah. Oh, I'm also currently doing the Iron Maiden versus Judas Priest albums comparison. If y'all may know, I'm holding on for that because that is a very long ass time to edit. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say for this video. And oh, one more thing, I have to give a shout out to Mark the Punk Gamer, because he actually mentioned me, I think not one or two in this videos. I was about to give that shout out at the beginning of this video, but I just completely forgot. Yes, he said that he will do an Iron Maiden for you. He kind of trolled me a bit. I pretty much requested a review for him, and he was going to do an Iron Maiden album ranking. A day ago, he did a Lacuna Coil ranking. And yeah, and he mentioned my name on his System of a Down ranking at the ending, and I was the one who brought him Death Angel, and he was fucking liking the shit out of this album, dude. So yeah, I have to give him a shout out. So yeah, that's it for this video, and I'll see y'all next time. Peace out, everyone.